we want to do something when we feel good to do it. And it doesn't work like that. Actually, like the feeling comes from doing. Doing comes first. If you want feel calm, you don't wait to meditate when you feel calm. You go meditate to feel calm. So I think that's what with a lot of creative stuff, a lot of times we feel to be inspired to do, and you just gotta do.
All right, DJ Katrina Essence, welcome to Produce Your Passion.
Hi, Sam. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is a to be continued conversation because we had a great conversation in Malibu at the Gula World event. And I'm like, oh, we definitely got to talk some Produce Your Passion with you.
Yeah.
We'll just dive right in. For those who don't know you, who are you and what do you do?
Well, Katrina is my real name. I'm originally from Russia. I have multiple passions throughout my life. Currently, I'm a DJ and producer, and I come from dancing background. I used to do music. I used to do a lot of creative stuff my whole life. Yeah, but I'm living my dream and working towards that.
Yeah, okay. And so your Produce Your Passion story, and maybe we'll focus on the DJing aspect of it. Where did that start? What made you say, you know what, I really like this DJing thing, or I'm into music, I'm actually going to go do it? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah. So I actually, compared to a lot of people who start in the teenage years, I started my DJing journey kind of late. I just started when I was 28, which is sort of late, you know. A lot of people start this as a teenagers. But it was very natural transition for me coming from the dancing background. And when I was like myself, like in the high school, going to dance, I was like, always was fascinated with, you know, people who DJ'd. I'll, you know, it's something about DJing that I always wanted to do, but I didn't have enough resources to, you know, purchase equipment. I didn't have anybody to teach me. And back then was not much information, especially where I grew up. So for me, it seems like kind of like impossible dream. Till I moved to United States for dancing originally, because I danced for American team. And I was like, I am just gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna save up my money. I'm gonna go to DJ school. I'm gonna purchase equipment. And I really wanted to do something creative. And yeah, I was just like, I'm all in. And I started, and it was like really hard. As I was going to school, I started learning all like scratching techniques and certain things. There was a point where I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I can't do this. Like, I wanted to give up. And I was like, why did I put myself into it? And I kind of glad that like I pay off for school right away and everything's like, I put myself in a situation where I have no choice but to make it. So, yeah, I pushed through, and I'm so glad I did.
And you said something I want to hit on right away. You said I started later, because I know for a lot of people, especially in the arts, acting, music, film, whatever it may be, they think, oh well, I'm past the cutoff age, so it's too late for me. Did you wrestle with that a lot in your mind, or did you not really care? You're like, well, I don't care what age I am. I'm going to do this.
No, actually, for DJing, it's like I saw that, like for dancers, because of your health, because of certain things, like you can, I know still people in the 40s, 50s who like still professionally dance. They more like teach and judge events, but it is harder when you're old. For DJing, I saw a lot of examples that kind of like more mature people. I was like, oh, that's something I can do later on, you know, in any age. So, but it is, I knew that because I started later than a lot of people are looking up to, I will have to work harder. I will have to do more gig. I will have to hurry up on my skills to catch up to some people who've been doing it for 15, 20 years, you know, and things like that.
And you said you went to a DJ school right away. So
Yes.
the term burn the boats, if you will, like you're like, no, I'm going all into this thing. How long
Yes.
was the DJ school?
It was a 1 year program. It's called
Wow.
Scratch DJ Academy, created by Jam Master Jay. I really wanted to learn like the right way of DJing, not just like I did try before when my friend taught me something, but I was like, I was not really DJing. It was like, it's hard to comprehend, but I was like, I'm going to learn the right way. I'm going to learn on vinyl. I'm going to learn on turntables. I'm going to learn from best of the best. And I'm so glad I did. That's something I recommend to everybody. Like, if you really like, it saves you so much time to learn from best people.
I love that. So yeah, for you, this wasn't going to be a little hobby or just experiment. Like you're like, no, I want to
No, I
learn
was like,
how to do this
yeah,
career. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I'm making money doing this. I'm doing it for a living.
So I would
I,
think that
Mhm.
mindset really played a key role in probably your faster development, just because you had that strong focus going in.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
You know, so okay, so you go through the DJ program, you get out there, you start DJing. I'm sure it hasn't been an easy road.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks cool on Instagram. Your video clips are awesome. I've been in your presence while you DJ. You're extraordinary, but
Thank
I'm
you.
sure it hasn't been such an easy road. So we like to talk a lot about obstacles on here.
Yes.
What obstacles have you encountered on this DJ journey, and how have you overcome those?
Oh my gosh, so many. So many. I think first of all, in any creative field, it's not like a regular jobs, like where you being a doctor, you're going to make such amount of money a year after such amount of time. Or like you lawyer, this is the route, this is the route, this is how much you're approximately going to make here. Like in creative world, it's not such a thing. There's no blueprint. There's the DJs who make millions and the DJs who make nothing. Like, and it's on you how much you want to make a year, how you going to go about it. And specifically for DJing, like you need to understand your trajectory because there's so many different avenues of how to go about it. Um, Obstacles for me, gosh, like, um, it was a tough journey. Like first obstacle, which is not a lot of people understand me in America, but like I didn't have a driver license when I moved here. And while I was like doing my documents and everything, like it took a while. And like I was taking train from Long Beach to West LA for DJ school, like every day for a year. And at the very beginning, like I took Uber, like I had to say no to certain gigs because it was just too far. And I hop on Uber with my DJ equipment, like some gigs. And like, I was just like, I do what I gotta do before, I get myself situated. So I, I was just like doing that. And for some people who like probably grew up here too, it's like, that's crazy. Like that's something, why would you do that to yourself? But, that's kind of was like a first obstacle. I really, me just getting my driver license, getting a car, uh, helped me a lot in my career because you have to travel with equipment and it's opened a lot of doors for me. But before I could not even like do it. Um, I,
I just
I
got to
would,
add on really
mm,
quick that not having a driver's license in LA is an even bigger deal because our public
yeah,
transit system isn't that great. It's not like New
yeah,
York where there's like subways and you can get out your door and walk out. Like, yeah. So kudos to you for doing that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Like New York is amazing. And I grew up in Moscow, which is kind of like New York. There's like no point to get a driver license there. And it's actually they make it really hard for you to get it. You have to study for a year. So over there, and you all only learn on stick over there. So it's like very different system and way harder to get a license. So anyways, um, obstacles, there's a lot of, just not, really knowing what I getting myself into. One of the obstacle was for me that because I'm not from here, I didn't grow up here. Like, I don't know. I grew up on American music. Like, I, listen, like, and watch MTV as a teenager and sort of, but there is different packets, especially LA, so diverse, where it's different kinds of people like in different kinds of music. And I have to study it because I didn't grow up here. Certain things, certain line dances, which is like, all people grew up, I have to learn it. So I actually would throw myself into gigs, which is are not really my thing I want to do, but I wanted to learn the culture. So I would do like quinceañeras and, I would do like certain parties for different kinds of people so I can learn the music, or like they send me a list. I would do like a teen party and okay, let's see what's a teenagers actually listening right now. So I would like learn from those gigs. But it definitely too, like I have to push harder because I didn't grow up here. So I have to learn all these things, which is kind of like easy and natural for other people. Yeah. And I feel like, uh, being by yourself, like financially, it's difficult to maintain. One thing being immigrant, and another thing, you're also like freelancer in the creative field. Like it's so hard. Because you don't have a pay days off. If you're sick, like you don't eat, like it's on your own. You have to manage how to like save up and navigate so you don't burn out. So that's part is very difficult for me.
Thank you for sharing that. And I got to bring this up. We've had a actress on the show before where she came from another country, and something I didn't even realize. She explained the visa that she got for America. The only work she can do is acting work. She can't go drive Uber. She can only specifically do. So it really gave me deeper perspective of those that are coming from overseas to a place like LA, the different battles you all are up against. And like you just said, like I didn't understand, I didn't grow up here, so I had to go relearn or learn this, and this. But I would think maybe in the long run, it's helped you even more because you're probably just more motivated, and because you have to be. Like there's no other choice.
For sure. It's kind of like, yeah, you have no choice but to make it because you already invested so much. One thing for me is like, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I chose it. Like, and I'm really aware I chose it, but just bringing it up because like you say, you have no idea. Let's say God forbid something happened to me. My family cannot even fly here. They cannot even send me money if they want to, like, because of sanctions right now. So like if something happened to me, I'm on my own. Like that's certain things, that's certain thoughts and risk. Like, it's hard.
Wow, that that really makes it look like some of us who may complain about certain things. That really does put it in a deeper perspective of what
Yeah.
you guys that came from somewhere else that are here. It really is a privilege to be here for everybody. But I think when you hear stories like this, it makes me realize like, wow, it really is a gift to be able to even do the things we're doing out in a place like Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you mentioned about I like how you said too you were doing any types of gigs, like there was I can't pronounce the quinceañera, is that what it's
Mhm.
called?
Yeah.
Those types of things. Was that just that hunger to learn, or in just probably just that openness? I really think that openness just to be like, hey, I don't care what it is, I'm going to work on my craft. Because I think some people
Yeah.
don't have that. They're like, oh, I'm only going to do this over here. So can you explain a little more about that, your open-mindedness like
Yeah.
that?
Which is fine. Everybody is different. And if you have a chance, because everybody's circumstances is different. If you have a chance to only focus on what you like, go for it. Like, that's amazing. I just didn't have the chance because like I need to pay my bills. That's one thing. financial side. And another thing for me, it's really was about getting experience. I was like, I love DJing and I want to get as much experience as I can, because DJing as a craft, 70% of DJing, it's experience. It's experience, 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 experience. That's why best DJs stay like 10 plus years, you know, and, in the craft, the best DJs were in the 30s and the 40s because they have so much experience, because it's literally all about experience. So I was just trying to get as much experience quicker to, you know, get those years, to be, on the same level, you know, with other people I'm looking up to. And yeah, learn as much as I can from these cultures. And of course, like financial aspect, I'm like, at the beginning, I was saying yes to everything just to get experience, just to get clients, just to get it rolling. I was just like saying yes to everything. Now I'm picking and choose more what I want to do. But I think for me, that was the way.
What was the turning point for you in your what was that point where you're like, okay, I've reached the next level with this. I got that baseline experience now. I've really found my groove with this. Was it a couple years, a few years? Like what was that for you?
I think there's always kind of like different steps.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like maybe every creative field the same way, where it's like a spiral. So you going back, like you have times when you raise the prices, you know, you upgrading equipment, you doing this. So you're already kind of like more aligned to certain things. I'm going to say, it's an ongoing process. I'm going through this big transition right now when I'm more focusing on my artistry and separating my artistry from my business side.
So when you say artist, you mean the music that you're producing yourself right now?
Music, yeah. Music I'm producing, music I really want to DJ. I use YouTube as my creative outlet to do mixes and things that I really love and want to do. But on the other side, I also have to, you know, when I'm getting booked, I have to please people what they want to hear and what they want to do. But already is like, it's kind of like I'm finding the gigs that more aligned with what I want to do, you know, what I truly enjoy. And that development takes years because in my dance background, I was so focused on one specific genre of dancing, right? Of one specific style of dance. And I never diversify. And when I started doing like TV shows and certain big things, I was so limited because I cannot dance any other styles. So going to music, I was like, I'm going to try opposite. I'm going to DJ everything. So, but now I'm kind of getting back to where now I start niche, like I start going back to figure it out what is my sound and what is my niche. And it's not just the one genre, but certain style, specific sound. So it does take time too for DJs, and it's come with this experience when you do so much, and then you realizing what you actually like, what you don't like, what's more fits you, and so on.
And that leads me to a question I was thinking of. Like, so when it comes to producing your own music, is that something always in the back of your mind? You're like, you know, one day I want to do that? Or is it just a byproduct of all the DJing you've been doing and you just naturally feel like you need to produce music now?
Well,
Or both?
definitely there's both. There is some songs like I want to play, I need the intro so I can blend them. Or I'm like, I see like I should flip this song so I should put hook first. So because like as a DJ, I need certain things. So I kind of like remix and do certain edits of, because from what I see. And, another thing is just, I have a very interesting relationship with music I produce, because like it just comes out of you. It's kind of have its mind on its own creativity. And it's like, I'm thinking in mind, I want to do this, but something else coming out, and you just have to ride with it and you just have to express. But I do think all my music background and genres and what I like definitely have effect on what I'm producing. And as I learn in producing, I try to copy things that I like. But something else come out, and you just have to trust it.
I love it. And another question is, I was telling you at the Gula World event we were at, I was in Vegas for quite a time.
Mm-hmm.
A fun time at that. And, the club scene with the DJs like 2010, 11, 12-ish, where, the mega DJs really started to get those residencies at all the clubs. And really, I mean, I have talked to people, they said DJs who used to get paid, a decent amount were now getting these $1 million, residency contracts. And a lot of it seems you got to have the skill. But my question to you is how much is the marketing for what you do? Because you are a brand. You are a brand. I'll just use like Dead Mouse, for example. He wears the mouse head. He's extraordinary, obviously, but he also stands out by doing stuff like that. So can you take us through a little bit, maybe the thought behind your marketing or how much of a role it plays in your career?
It definitely play a huge role. For me, I'm going through this whole rebranding, remarketing site because that's have to do with your artistry. If you just a DJ, if you kind of like, if you DJ slash artist or you DJ slash service, if you DJ slash service, which is, you doing local gigs and everything over there, it's about your service. It doesn't matter, as long as you're doing job good and you know how to read people, to deliver what they want and everything. And you too build up your name in that. And people like recognize you and they want you. With marketing, I'm saying you can do both, but it's not, if you just doing a service, it's not as important. Your service is more important. But if you DJ slash artist, that's about like your artistry. That's why they're getting millions of dollars because they're artists. It's not about them, it's people coming because of the music, because of the brand. So you sort of create the whole little world. You create community around your music. It's so much more to it. For me, marketing, I don't use any like paid ads, anything ever at all. For me, everything has to be organic. I don't know if I ever will, probably, but for me, I like for people to like really resonate with who I am, and for me, the best marketing is like your authenticity and just understanding your blueprint, like you as a person, because people connect to you for some reason, like people connect to you, to your personality, people connect to your music because it's a certain energy blueprint you represent, and there's the people who connect to it. And I think it takes time to uncover what that blueprint is and how to just find your people.
I mean, I love that because really, I mean, you just learning is by doing, right? And that's the only way you're going to figure out is just to keep doing stuff and uncovering more and more and more and more. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. But the only way you're going to do that is to get out there, do gigs, produce music, put yourself out there, etc.
Yes. And I think a lot of things are changing right now in the industry and the music industry included. I think this whole like idols, like big, like, when we're worshiping like big idols, big stars, like that fame and everything is like falling apart in a way. It's like people, it's, it's a phase where we're kind of done as a humanity with. It's like now people want raw, people want authentic, people want relatable. So the more relatable, because those stars, it's like, it's not relatable. it's certain fantasy, which is okay too for some people. But people want more like connection, you know, people want somebody they relate to it. And as more you can, you know, tolerate being cringe, tolerate being, you know, just, and being cringe to me, it's mean I'm trying. I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong, but I'm trying and then showing my process. And it's uncomfortable because I'm not perfect yet, but I'm showing my imperfection. It's very vulnerable. But that's what people relate to.
It's so funny you bring that up. I've been having that conversation lately of, you know, you'll put all this effort and energy into a video or polish up a piece of content. You're like, all right, it's perfect. You know, you put it out. Not much response, but it's the video you just kind of do behind the scenes. And I posted a picture of me falling asleep in a chair, like no joke, and posted it. And all these comments, all these, I'm like, what the heck? I'm just like, what?
Because it's relatable.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. So to your point, it is. And I think social media, it's really interesting you brought that up. I think it's almost like social media has evened the playing field a little bit. And celebrities, now look, the Beyoncés, the big names, the Lady Gagas, they're still to have some of that allure. But to your point, it does seem that quote unquote celebrity is losing its luster with people because the average person can make a TikTok video that gets 1 million views now. And it's like, well, they're famous now. So
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like, it will be a big shift. We're still going to have certain people, which is kind of like, oh, that's something, unreachable, like fantasy, you know? You're not going to be friends with Beyonce, like, right. But it's like something that people is like, you know, connected to, something that's far away. But in the same time, we're like moving into, you know, kind of like a more horizontal relationship with your fans.
that's a gem right there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more new things in the art and the music industry, going to be more community based. It's going to be very like, not vertical, but horizontal relationship where it's like, we're all gonna co-create certain art. You're gonna co-create with your fans. They're gonna be part of the process. So it's gonna be, different relationship.
I love that. I love that horizontal instead of the vertical. You're right, because we have all these platforms and tools and live streams. You can get feedback instantly from fans. Like, oh, I really like you did this. What if you did this with one of your songs? And you're like, oh, that's a great idea. You know what I mean? Like that's dope.
And it's still have to be the person, like artists creating the world, artists create a community, artists like, you know, somebody have to lead, but it's going to be very much everybody involved. It's not like hierarchy where it's like, I'm here and you fans, but it's like we co-create. And people are going to be more involved. So it's going to be more loyal fan base as well. And it's going to be something for everybody, because at the end of the day, why people go to like big concerts, it's about them too, because they want to feel like they're part of this. They want to listen to music and feel good. Like, you know, they buying art because it's about them too. But it's interestingly that I feel like new artists gonna involve people and fans, not just experience the art, but co-create with them.
I really, really like that. I'm really glad you said that. And I think that's going to apply to many industries as well, even outside of music. So aside from what you just described, future of the industry, I mean, of course, I got to bring it up, AI. How do you see that playing a role in the DJ scene? Or
in the DJ scene? Yeah, there's a lot of new tools, which is helpful. I don't think AI gonna completely replace DJs, because it is about connection, and that's what people want, connection, where there's nothing where person actually reading the crowd in moment, responding. It's energy, it's connection, and I think physical events like in-person events going to be here no matter what. And it's actually, we're going to need more of that, you know, in person, connection. So, but there is definitely, there's a lot of tools that helps with the process of DJing. Uh, it's getting easier to get into the field because there's online courses, there's different equipment, there's a cheap equipment. There's a lot of tools that help you like record your mixes and adjust. So entry barrier, it's getting like smaller and smaller, like anybody can try. But also, it's very interesting. So I think it's like, it's still, I'm not afraid that there's like anybody in the mama DJs now because we're going to see in 5 years, like if you really bought it or not, because like everything you do, even it's with all these tools, it's easier and easier, but what's your actual, like how much you want it? And not everybody is willing to pay the price because everything won't have the price. And not everybody is willing to pay the price and go through like difficult stuff and difficult things to, actually do it long term. And like, that's why time shows, like, are you really love it so much that you can tolerate discomfort and this, curveballs that life throws in you and keep going.
Oh, I love that. That's reminiscent of our conversation on the deck, like that type of artist. Like you're right, because it's it's always fun in the beginning, always, because it's
Always,
new, it's
yeah.
fresh. It's like, yeah, and
Yeah,
then when
yeah.
you hit a certain level, it's like, all right, we made it to this point, but it's those middle phases. We call it the muddle on here,
New
stuck in the
model,
mud
yeah.
in the middle. It's like, what happens when the dopamine wears off, when the
Yeah.
serotonin levels go down? You're just in it now. And
Yeah.
it's like that to me makes or breaks a lot of us. It's like, how do you keep pushing
Hmm.
forward through those times? So do you have any insights for when you are in those middle phases of something? Like how did you keep pushing through? How did you keep
Hmm.
yourself motivated?
Uh, that's what our conversation was in Malibu there. The thing that I say, the motivation take you, like not the motivation, the discipline take you where motivation can't. Like, and that's kind of like discipline is so important. Discipline is so important because you just have to push through. For me, what was helpful, I ran half marathons and I'm preparing for like my second half a marathon right now. And just as an example, like always like 2 months before the half marathon, like I want to quit. Like I don't feel like going. And you just gotta do. Like today I was like, no. And like I went and I ran in the morning. Cause like I know, like I'm doing this. No matter how I feel, no matter what, like it's only 2 months left. Like, let's go. Like, I don't know. It's and as I start running, I was like, oh, I'm okay. I'm actually, it's doable. Sometimes what works for me, I don't like, sometimes like I had like so much homework and I waited till last moment for my production courses and classes. And I'm like, oh, I just can't. But I'm like, I sit my ass and I was like, I'm going to do for 2 hours, like, or for an hour. And I say, Alexa, and, set a time. And 4 hours goes by and like I finished the song, so it's just like sometimes you just gotta start. And as you go, it's, you start, feeling it. Because a lot of the times we want to do something when we feel good to do it. And it doesn't work like that. Actually, like the feeling comes from doing comes first. Like if you want feel calm, you need to sit, like you don't wait to meditate when you feel calm. You go meditate to feel calm. So I think that's what with a lot of creative stuff, a lot of times we feel to be inspired to do, and you just gotta do first. And then it's like in 30 minutes, if it does not go, okay, maybe not today. But sometimes we just gotta, do what we gotta do and see if, it take us somewhere or not.
I love everything you said there, and you're so right about the discipline. And it really reminds me, I forget what author said it, but he's like, write 200 crappy words a day. Or they asked him
Yeah.
what his secret was to knocking out all these books that he did. He goes, I write 200 crappy words a day. And what he meant by that was no matter what or how he feels, he forces himself to write, even if it's crap. But what happens is exactly what you just said, how you end up finding your groove just by doing it. But if you just sit like, oh, I don't feel like writing today, or making music today, then you're never going to.
Yeah. If you look to any artist, they have a crazy catalogs and how many hits. It's a percentage. With social media, what I read too, which make me, I'm still not the best at that, but it says like every 10th video go viral, like somewhat viral. I'm like, okay, so I post like every 10th video and I see it on TikTok. It's like, okay, I just post 10 videos. Okay, I don't care that 9 of them does not have traction. Every 10th will have some numbers. So you just got to do it, and you getting better by doing it. Like you, literally, the more you're doing it, the better you're getting. And so, yeah, if I refer, if I every my 10th track the produce will be nice, I have to, those 9 ones gotta get out too, you gotta do them.
Absolutely. And something I wanted to touch on real quick too, thinking about what you're doing is you're making the music and you're practicing your skills, but then you're also out and about in person. So that to me is valuable for what you do, because even if someone becomes a master quote unquote DJ in their room, like you you're building your brand and becoming irreplaceable by getting yourself out there on the scene. I mean, I looked on your website, looked at your schedule, I think for this month. I'm like, geez, like you're
Yeah.
everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Thank
how
you.
much is that being a DJ? Do you get tired? I guess is what I'm leading to, because you're doing a lot, and a lot of DJ gigs aren't in the middle of the day. A lot of them are probably at nighttime and go into later hours in the night too.
Yeah. That's the price. I mean, yeah. And I'm really healthy person. I rarely drink. Um, you know, I wake up early during the week. I run, my mental health in check. So I do other things so I can live this lifestyle. So I can, those weekends, can handle us, late hours and, and drunk people and, and loud music and very like, I'm also very sensitive, and it's like you work in the hyper environments where it's like a lot's going on, a lot of like lights and sound and everything. So I make sure I calm my nervous system down like during the week, and I do so I have this balance. But it's just a price. Everything has a price, so that's something, that if you want to be DJ, and not necessarily, like right now with online stuff, I know a lot, especially female DJs, who move into just doing online, that only live stream, and they doing during the day. They creating their own schedule and they make good money, and there is a ways. But for me right now, it's fine. That works. Burnout, yes.
Burnout. Can we talk about that? Because
Yes. Yeah. I sometimes go, and I definitely have a hard time to stop. And it's coming from my scarcity and fears and being immigrant, that, oh my gosh, I need this, I cannot say no, like, or it, like, it's better now, but it took me a while to get more stable, so I can pick and choose. And you have to pick and choose if you want something long term. Like, you have to think long term. And when you're in survival, you think right now, you don't think long term. And when you calm and basically, honestly, just like you gotta have resources. And not everybody is same, and we're all equal on the soul level, but as a people, like we all have different resources, different background. Some people have more trauma. Some people have the way we're being brought up, our families, everybody's very different. So you cannot compare yourself. And I think it's really important to understand and be realistic about your resources and what can you do, what can you not do, and work with what you have and slowly build from there. And maybe like if you don't have that much resources and you need to go get like, different gigs, like some people can say no and just do what they love. It's amazing. But some people have to just, say yes to certain things just to make money. And that's fine. It just your way gonna take more time. It's just gonna be longer, but just keep doing that, stay true to yourself, and your journey is different. It's okay.
Wow. It's like the universe, God just channeled you right now because you're so right. I'm trying to think of how to articulate this. It's like you have to be delusional enough to
Yes.
not let things stop you. But at the same time, as I'm dealing with this, you have to live in somewhat reality. I love how you said resources to know, but what am I actually dealing with and can make it?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a weird balance because you can't
Yeah.
go too far into either one of them, or you know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
if you get too realistic, you're gonna go, well, I'm just gonna give all this up
Yeah.
and go just do a regular job and not care. But if I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do this and only this, it's like, now look, does the 1 in 1 million thing happen? Yes, it does. But for most, it's not going to. So it's like you have to still keep doing and building what you want, but you also can't ignore your own living and survival at the
Yes.
same time. And that's, as artists, I think all of us deal with that constantly.
Absolutely. I'm all for having a big dream. Absolutely. That's like your North Star. Like you have to have a big dream and be delusional a little bit. Like it's good. But sometimes people are so delusional. It's such a big gap between them right now in that big dream. They never get anywhere because the gap is so big. So you need steps. Have this North Star, but step 1, step 2, like don't rush. Like the process is everything. So, and your process might not look like other people. Like I think it's really hard, unfortunately, as a creative, we always compare ourselves to other people, but we all have such a different story, such a different background, such a different, and resources. I mean, your time, your energy, your finances, your health, like all those, like your connections, all of their resources. And, some people have a lot of connections. If you move here from different state, you don't have as many connections as other people. So your resources are different. So the most creative you can be if you work with what you have, and build from there. Yeah. I feel like some people, it just because a dream is so big, it's kind of prevent them to even start. And you need to be okay already. You're already doing it. You already have enough. You're already doing, creative stuff. You're already doing what you love. So it's just a matter of time to build, and especially places like in LA, a lot of people live like beyond the means, like because of what they see, and they get themselves in really bad situations.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. If you try to keep up with the Joneses here, you'll find out very quickly that A, it's not worth it. And B, unless you're making ridiculous money, it's going to crumble. And I think a lot of us out here, me personally, I preach living below your means. Like, there's ways to do this. LA is a very expensive city,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
you can do it if you live below your means and not get a crazy expensive car where you have a $1,500 payment each month. You just find a decent place to live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's ways around it.
Yeah. And that's for me, like being realistic, being true to yourself. Like it's okay. Like it's gonna, you're gonna grow. You're always gonna grow. Like the tree is always growing. Like our art always gonna grow, but, don't rush.
Don't rush. I love it. And
Mm.
so, no, this has been phenomenal. And as we're getting toward the end here, another question I have for you is for those people listening or watching this and they're like, man, I've always wanted to produce music. I've always wanted to
Mhm.
try being a DJ or anything else, but they're not doing it for whatever reason. What can you tell those people out there who haven't taken
Hmm.
action yet?
I would, I would check why you wanted to do it. Why? It's, and answer can be very different. Some people want it as a hobby. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some people, trying different things. If you want to do it as a career, uh, again, why? Because if it's a lot of people who performing, like in some industries, kind of like the artist, performer, being on a stage, a lot of that come from the ego, from our inner child, not to be seen by our parents. So if it's coming from that wounded child place and you just want to be seen, you're never going to make money doing that. You might be in seen, but you're not going to make it as a career because your why is kind of, it's coming from that place. Um, and that's one thing. And another thing, so I think it's like subconsciously, some people know they don't show in the whys. That's why they don't start. But if it's something, another thing, everything has a price and you have to check yourself. Are you willing to pay the price? But everything you want has a price. It's just like, are you okay with it? Are you not okay with that? So have that in mind, being realistic and what you want. So you don't spend 5 years doing something and then it's like, I don't want to do this anymore, because price is too high. So kind of like think of those things in mind. And, my suggestion, learn from, learn like, right now it's so many courses, so many schools to teach that, to teach music production, to teach DJing. Like it saves you so much time. It's very hard to just figuring out yourself. For me, at least, like um, I love being in school, being around different creative and learn from best of the best. I think it saved me so much time, and helped my career a lot. So it's always a great investment.
That was really deep, by the way, especially that first part about the why are you doing it coming from the ego wanting to be. There's a lot of truth in what you just said right there. I've never heard anyone break it down the way you just did, but that I'm going to be thinking about that one for a while.
Yeah, I think it's like that's why a lot of people don't start, because subconsciously they know it's not a right why. And which is okay, because some people, they start from the wrong why. They get it, they get attention, they get this, and they're like, oh, okay, probably not it, but they still going, but now for the right reason.
Interesting. And now for the people that have been producing their passion or have been DJing for a while, but they're like, man, I don't know if I can do this anymore. What do you tell that camp of people?
I think, it is a spiral. It's always like you kind of come back to the certain things and you go up, and you come back to certain things and go up, and it's always going to be those moments. And again, like if you really love it, check your whys. Why you doing this? Check the price. And I think it's okay to pivot. There is a way to pivot. As I said, example, there's some people move to online space and they just DJ from home. There's a room for that. Maybe you want to move into like teaching that, you know, there is a room. Maybe you want to like start throwing events, or there is a lot of the times it's when we're just starting something and we're still learning, we feel like it's like very exciting. You're still trying, you still learning, and once you learn and you start feeling very comfortable, and it's become easy because kind of like you learn a lot and you get like stagnant. And that's the problem. Like if you stop learning, you get in stagnant. So there is a room to pivot. Maybe you want to try different venue. Maybe for DJs a lot, you move to another genre. Like you switch music genres. So you're like, oh, let me produce something else. Let me try something else. So like you might stick within your career, something really close, but you have to find something you feel passionate about within your field, but something different. So like I think pivoting in those moments is when you feel stuck. It's mean like you learn on this level everything and you need to go on next level. So you either pivot to something similar, but the worst you can do is like to burn everything and start over, because you just every time you're gonna start over. Don't like start, don't just like cancel everything you did and start over, but pivot into something similar where you can learn, continue learning and evolving.
That's really, really good what you just said, because no one said that yet. And I've never even thought that out loud. But yeah, because I think that is a natural reaction. Like, oh, it didn't work out. Screw it. Like, we're just not going to, like, all that money you spent, all that time you spent on something. It didn't work, so we're not going to do it. It's like, whoa, wait. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That doesn't mean that everything you did, you can, what worked, what didn't, and like you said, pivot or adjust and work it instead of just throwing it all away and giving up. But I think that happens more times than you think with people.
Oh yeah, because you still have connections, you still have experience, you build on top of that. But a lot of the times we get bored and we tend to like start over, but you're always going to freaking start over if you continue to doing that. So you need to just keep going sometimes.
I love that. Well, DJ Katrina, this has been I'm really looking forward to going through the edit on this one. This is I can't wait for part 3. Malibu was part 1. This was part 2. Yeah. So, we'll have closing remarks and anything else we want to say here. But for people that want to follow you, check out your music, get a hold of you, where are all the places people can look you up online?
It's DJ Katrina Essence, and everything with this name, my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube, my website, and I post my schedule by a DJ in California on my website. So yeah, I would love to connect with different creatives. I love this conversation being amazing. You're so easy to talk, and we can talk about this creative stuff forever. And I'm love to talk to different creatives. So yeah, I would love to connect.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else creatively that's been on your mind, or anything you wanted to share?
I guess speaking to myself and speaking to everybody, be your best friend. Be your best friend. Be like, you have to hype yourself when nobody's clapping. You have to be nice to yourself and be your best friend and continue create.
I love that. Well, DJ Katrina, this has been spectacular. You actually blew my mind several times throughout this.
Thank you.
I didn't want to keep talking and make it about, I'm going to be definitely pondering on, and that's one of the best parts about this podcast is this collaboration and artists from all realms bringing these things out that we're all feeling, but we may not necessarily know how to articulate it. Yeah. And there were a couple things within here. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, no, that's exactly what that is. So I really appreciate you sharing everything that you did today.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your amazing questions too. And, having the conversation.
Awesome. We'll hang around for just a second, but DJ Katrina, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. To learn more, go to produceyourpassion.com.